This is super duper just running properly. Before we continue, and volume, great, thank you. Let me see real quick. Volume is low, I guess. Just a second. Volume, let's just try that. Does this make it any better? Not receiving it for stream. Okay. How's the volume now? Is the volume okay? I want to make sure you guys can hear me. It's nice now. Okay, great. Cool. So we have a few people in here. This call is going to be recorded, so I think that will be great nonetheless. You guys can always go back, and then I plan to obviously do markers and everything like that, so it's easy to come back and get content from this. So let's just start, okay? So this is the beginning. This is how to make it trading based on like the entries. Yeah. In case a lot of you guys don't know me, my name is JD. I've been a trader for just about 7 years. I believe March, April will make just about 7 years, and I've been profiting for 4 years now. I've been self-taught, and last year as Corona kind of started kicking in, I've basically met up with other traders around and basically just learn from them. Like every other trader is doing their own thing, so I take the time to learn from other traders to advance my own skills, obviously. So basically, so today we're basically just going to touch on a few topics that this webinar is going to focus on. Basically the entries showing you how to and when you can be taking your trades and improve on your trades no matter like where you are right now. And you don't got to be confused. You don't have to be cramming your brain with a bunch of useless knowledge. And I hope to make that very clear within this while I refer back to the previous webinars. Also, I do want to say, if you guys have any questions, just ask them in the chat before you guys forget them or anything like that. And then by the end of the call, I'm gonna go through and by the end of the webinar, I'm gonna go through and just answer those questions to the best of my ability. Okay. So I want you guys to definitely grab a notebook, take notes any way that you can. Don't just think that you're gonna remember them. And I'm gonna stress that so much that that's not how trading works. You need this information deep in your subconscious mind. It's not watching this once and you're good, you're straight. So there's that, and this is really just valuable content. I don't really feel like coming on here all the time and just like putting out meaningless stuff and things that people can't use. So it just speaks for itself. Like, this is going to just be valuable content that you need to take notes from. You need to apply it if you want to apply these things to your trading plan, and we'll kind of touch on that a super little bit because that was the first webinar that we did. Okay. So it's very important that you remove the uselessness from your trading, ultimately because you don't want to have analysis paralysis or things like that where you have too many options on the chart and all that type of stuff. You want to try to reduce and remove all the uselessness from your trading. And if you're unsure where or when to enter in the market, or you just want to improve on your entries nonetheless, I'll show you how I can help you do that in this webinar. So there's a lot of issues regarding entries which may lay in many different places. Like not having a complete trading system, so you're unsure where you should be entering. You have no confidence in your trading system. Could be a fault itself. Can the mic close? Sorry, if I just look away, I'm just like looking at the chat and trying to figure that out. Hold on a second. Before I continue, it's essential that I make this proper in the beginning. Is the sound clear now? Is the sound clear now? I can just, maybe I'm not speaking loud enough. How's the sound? I wonder. Okay, let me see. Just a second. Let me. Yeah, the sound is super blessed. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so basically where I left off was, you can run into a lot of issues with trading, like you're not sure where to enter, and that could be based on not having a system, not following your system. You don't believe in yourself, and you don't believe in your system. Then there can also just be the 5 natural trading psychological fears, and I don't just place these fears just to trading, but just fears in life. People are scared to take opportunities because they don't want to see at the bottom. They don't want to take an opportunity and then be missed out. There's a bunch of psychological fears which get placed into trading because we are human beings who are trading the market. And then apart from that, I covered all these psychological fears within the TPA manual, which I'm sure a majority of you guys are already reading. So I want to also say this, that if you guys don't think that you'll be able to succeed in the trading market, that's a psychological roadblock that you guys need to remove from the market. Definitely, it's not something that you give up on. It's not something that you take a few losses and you quit, or you blow your account within those few losses. I always stress that people should try to just make their accounts last like for a week or a month, whatever you're not lasting to. If you're not lasting a week, try to last a month along the whole way. And then apart from that, basically it's essential that you put your fears aside, because they will be translated into the market with every trade that you take. And I'm here today. I want to show you my perspective on the market. I want to show you my perspective on the market, and it's by far one of the most important things. Just to understand that you need to believe in yourself. You need to believe that your trading system works. And that's basically what we're going to get into with this webinar. And you're going to be able to, it's essential that you practice so you can develop your skills, as we should already know, I believe, from this point on. Okay. So, you realistically need the explanation to be done in a proper way. You ultimately need the concepts of trading to be explained in a certain way, so it can ease into your subconscious mind a lot easier, rather than someone might just saying buy low, sell high, and that might just be too vague. Realistically, at some point in time, you need to have a definition for yourself for what you would consider a low price and what you consider a high price. This is not always going to be right and wrong, but this is, you need to have something to, basically it's left or right at this point in time. Reduce your options to a left and right scenario. Okay, so basically I want to say this too, is that I really want to come on this webinar to be able to share my information, because it's essential. It's very important that we have everybody else around the world succeeding, being happier in the things that they're doing, spreading less hate and being able to just live more positive lives, richer, not just financially, but richer in like all sorts of different types of wealth and positivity. So you can teach this stuff to your kids, so you can inspire others to be more positives and be able to live your dreams without those financial limits or mental limits. Just be able to decide on what you're going to do and actually be able to go out and go do those things. So basically that's why I'm here today. That's why we're here. This webinar is going to be focusing on the entries, and the webinar will cover the information that's in the free TPA. Sorry, the first webinar covered the topic in the free TPA trading manual. The first webinar was more so on just a trading plan, the essential things that you need in a trading plan. So if you haven't watched that, it's essential that you know what you need to have a trading plan. Each trading plan must consist of these things, or your trading plan's incomplete, essentially. And then the second webinar that we did more so covered topics on perspective and psychology of trading. So the whole perspective and psychology on trading, which is really important as well. That's why I think these 3 factors are really big. It's like three pieces to the puzzle. You definitely need a trading system. And then there's the mindset, which we covered in the second webinar. And then this one, yes, it's focused on entries, but our entries, like we're not just taking random entries at random times. We need a good risk to reward ratio. And so this one's more for just risk management. And I'll be showing you, because there's a lot of people that take trades based on a whole bunch of different things. So we're going to touch into that. And welcome to the webinar. That's basically the introduction. And our goal for today and every day is to basically increase your trading results, your positivity, and your will to not only survive, but thrive and live. That's very, very, very important. So let's just move on to the next thing. Let's just move on to the next thing real quick. So disclaimer, if you guys don't already know this, all trading is speculative. Trading foreign currencies can be challenging and potentially profitable opportunities, which we all know, okay? Past profits are not indicative of future results, as we all know, okay? You take time to read that all out. So let's just go into the next thing. The next thing here, we know what trading is. It's an exchange of things. So we know when we trade ourselves, we are exchanging one currency for another, which is pretty basic concept. A pretty basic concept. We know how that all works. Okay, so I want to start off by saying there are about seven. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. There's a few things that we're going to cover in this webinar. One would just be understanding that a positive risk to reward in your trading is basically one of the essential parts to your success. It's going to be one of the most important things, that you take good risk to reward ratios on your trades. You're not just entering trades whenever you feel. You're not just entering trades all like loosely like that. You need to be taking good risk to reward trades, and you be taking trades from your areas of key interest. And that's one thing that we're going to focus on in this webinar, your areas of key interest, because that's ultimately the places that you take your trades from. You don't take them in the middle of ranges, but at the top and the bottom of the ranges. That's why I mentioned you need to have a description for what is a low price and what is a high price. So apart from that, this is like I said, this is focused on risk management, which will basically save your life and your account's life, because it's all about survival. We know that the whole COVID thing is going on right now, and if you can survive these times, you're not going back to work, essentially. So it's the same principle that needs to be applied. You must survive if you wish to continue trading. And a lot of people are always just risking everything in their trading account, which obviously doesn't leave with. If you blow your account, you're not left with anything to continue with, essentially, right? And if you're not trading, if you're not actually placing trades, you're not making any votes to the system, okay? And then there is understanding the movements of price and candlesticks, and more so just support and resistance, because there are many forms of support and resistance, whether that's moving averages. Here we have multiple time frame analysis. We have support and resistance. Just a second. Okay, so yeah, we have divergence, price action, and then we'll cover multiple types of entries as we go through each one. And then finally, we're going to look at how you can find these trades and find the trades that you would like to take. Like I mentioned before, everybody's doing different things. Certain people are using moving averages. Certain people are using Fibonacci. Certain people are using the RSI and a bunch of things like that. Okay. Basically, the external results I want from you guys, or that I hope for you guys, is just definitely more profits and comfortability while trading. If you're not comfortable while trading, you're stressing the situation and applying fear that you might not need, like that you don't need to be applying to the markets, okay? And then the internal results, I want you guys to have more mental clarity of, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be entering the market. This is where I'm supposed to be getting out. And these are my risk to reward ratios that I'm trying to attain for myself. These are the standards that I have for myself that for the trades that I take. Okay, and obviously reduce your stress and reduce your confusion. Okay, and like I said before, if you guys have any questions, just ask them in the chat, and then we'll go over that at the end. Okay, so let's so here's basically what we're gonna focus on with the topics and everything for right now. I want to say this before, because this webinar is, just like I said, just focused on entries and risk management as a whole. The first webinar that we did is more just trading plan based. That's the focus of that. These are the requirements for your trading plan. And then you have the second webinar, which is basically psychology. You got to understand what you're getting involved with while you're trading. Essentially, you got to understand what you're getting involved with, understand like losing streaks, losing trades, and how to deal with that, and what are the potential walls, the potential shortcomings that you might have grown up with, or that you may not even realize that you're applying to the market. Okay, and then this one is risk management. I want to focus on getting good risk to reward ratios on your trades. Risk to reward, risk percentage is something we're going to look at as well. And then when to enter the market per method. Okay. So yeah, the first webinar, like I mentioned, because I want to say this, like, because if I don't touch on these things in this webinar here, which I don't really plan to go on things that I've mentioned in other webinars, you just have to go and watch those other webinars. This webinar, the first webinar, went more to focus on your life, because everybody's living different lives. Everybody has different schedules. That's more so just to focus on what trading style do you want to do. Do you want to be an investor, a day trader, investor, day trader, scalper? What fits your schedule? What would you like to accomplish? Because it's very essential that you know what type of person you are before you have no patience and you're trying to be an investor. Like, those two things will, you'll face a lot of resistance while doing that. And you got to also understand your mindset, your risk management, your time frame, your candles, your time frames, your candles. So price description. Give a slight overview of divergence. I'll be covering divergence. I believe I can look at, sorry, I'm just answering one of these questions that someone just asked, but like, I'll be going over the divergence, the imbalance of things on the RSI, but we'll touch on those. We'll definitely just touch on those, and this is going to be recorded for everyone, so you can touch in and see it in a bit. Yeah, so there's those key points of a trading plan that you need. You need to have a general trend, and you trade in the direction of the trend, unless you're a counter trend trader, but you're still aware of the main trend. Support and resistance, that's a wide range of different things as well as support and resistance, but you need to have what is a low price and what is a high price. And then you need to know your stop loss, your entry, and your targets, which is mainly for this webinar that we're focusing on here. And then journaling your trades. A lot of people don't want to journal their trades. I'm not sure why, but it's something that you should definitely do. It's a big opportunity to just start learning from yourself. Okay, yeah, just go ahead and ask your questions in the chat, guys. So basically, I wanna say this as well, that with the first webinar, you're not trying to copy other people. A lot of people would see someone else post something online or whatever the case and want to just go copy them. That's not the way that works. You should have your own trading plan, because everybody is going through systematic losses. Everybody's going through systematic wins. It's just up to you to follow your trading plan. You don't hop from strategy to strategy to strategy, because if you take a random approach, you're going to get random results, essentially. And then number 2 was basically sticking to your analysis. That's the second webinar, basically sticking to your analysis, understanding the psychology of why you were doing what you're doing, and why it's so essential that you believe in yourself and that you believe in your plans, the preparations that you have made, and you have to believe that they will pay off. If you don't believe in these things, you're literally like your brain and everything else is not gonna go in and put the work out. Okay. And I always refer this to knowing your own name. There's certain times I ask people and like, what's your trading plan? And they won't know it, but you definitely know your name. It's like I'm not joking to the slightest degree when I'm like, you need to know your trading plan inside and out. You need to know your trading plan inside and out, and you know that like your name. I call your name, you answer to your name. Know your trading plan. That's no joke. Study that day in, day out. The free trading manual goes to say read this twice a day, because I want to stress that you need this in your subconscious mind. This isn't just going to work staying on your forefront of your mind. Every time you want to place a trade, you're going to refer to a book or something like that. You don't really know this information. It's essential that you know this information. Okay. So there's that, becoming familiar with your trading plan. Back test these results, back test your trading plan, forward test your trading plan, and then basically know what if scenarios. Okay, so if your stop loss gets hit out 5 times, what are you supposed to do in that situation? If your stop loss gets hit out all week long, what are you supposed to do in that situation? Understand the ins and outs of your analysis and your trading plan, which is essential. Understand the fears that might pop in while you are you might try to revenge trade. Catch yourself on these fears so you don't repeat themselves. I'm not really going to go in why we shouldn't be revenge trading or avoiding the fears in the market, but those are essentially things I've covered in the second webinar, which you should definitely go out and rewatch that at the end of this. Okay. And understanding probability. It's one thing to understand probability, and it's one thing to actually be acting with probability. Because a lot of people are very aware of the fact that, okay, out of 10 trades, I might lose 5, but they haven't really accepted the risk, because once they actually lose the 5, then they're really hurt. They're super duper, their emotions are hurt. Okay. And then basically, do you understand why you are doing the things that you're doing? Do you understand why you are entering here? Do you understand why you're using the moving average, or why you're using multiple time frames? Why are you supposed to stick to your trading plan? Why are you not supposed to jump from strategy to strategy? It's important to understand these things, because you need to know your plan. Like, dead straight, you need to know your plan. Okay, so let's jump on to the charts, and we're gonna just go on some of these entries. We're gonna go look at some of these entries. The first one that we're starting out with, let me just see what the next picture I have here is. Okay, just a second. Oops. Okay, so maybe I was supposed to oops. Cool. Sorry with this, just bear with me for a moment. I'm gonna pop up my charts. Okay, so basically the first one that we're gonna start with, I thought it would be better. I had some last minute decision changes. I thought it would be better to start with what I do now, basically just going from support and resistance horizontal zones, price action, and then multiple time frame analysis, because those are things that I find to be foundational in your trading. So that's really where I want to start with these, and then we'll branch off into some more complicated things. We'll branch off into some more complicated things. Just like the RSI divergence and the stock divergence, the stochastic divergence. Then we'll touch into some Fibonacci things, some golden ratios, some number sequences, and find out why these are, how we can actually be taking our trades from these. Okay, so let's start. Let's hop onto the chart. Let me just see what else is here. Okay, cool. Let's just pop open this chart.